and welcome back to another video of jPlay. I'm Marcus and today I want to start my personal little playthrough of Saya, Legends of a Drift System. Saya brings you back to the old computer game ages like Elite or Privateer. So the players will get a ship, they will go into space and they will try to get some fame points in order to win this game. And there are so many ways to score you fame or victory points, it's really unbelievable. So really the variety and freedom of what you are about to do is really immense in this one. So as you can see here, you can explore, you can fulfill missions, you can do combat, you can trade, you can buy new ships through wealth. Basically you can buy your fame point each round for 5,000 credits. You can be kind to other players while rescuing them. You can claim titles, and if you're really lucky and roll a natural d20, you can also gain 1 fame point each round. So as I said, this is really the opportunities in this game are really immense. Saya is designed for 3 to 5 players. To be honest, I don't know why Cody Miller hasn't come up with a really 2-player variant or even a solo play variant, because it's definitely possible to translate this game into a 2-player or a solitaire variant, and I'm pretty sure there will be official variants coming out pretty soon. Today I will just start my little playthrough with a 3-player game here, and I will also start using some house rules which are starting to be discussed on the Geek. And this is basically for movement, which I will change a little bit, and I will also change the way on how you can sell goods on the planets here. I decided to play until 8 fame points here, so as soon as one of the players gains this noteworthy Rocketeer status, he immediately wins this game. And this brings me for once the opportunity to bring out 2 title cards, or each time one player reaches one of those purple spaces on the fame track, 1 new title card is being revealed. And doing this for 8, it really leaves us enough time to maybe gain the title card that might show up here when the player reaches 6 fame points. And this is a setup for a 3-player game. It's basically 1 space tile per player. The only thing that is really important, each tile that you draw for each player has to have a spawn point here, because that's where the player will actually start. And I also already did the turn order and also searched for a ship for each of the players. So blue will go with Swarm Bread. The Swarm Bread is more of the trader type, so it really has a lot of spaces here, so 1 hold more than the normal average player. It has not that much energy, so there are ships that have, I think, even 9 energy, but that's still fine. The very cool thing about the Swarm Bread, the special ability, the Oversurge. So I can use now a damage marker instead of a normal arm marker when trying to activate a system, when I don't have any more systems or activation points left, which is really a very good thing, but I explain those arm markers as soon as we come to that. Red will go with the Easy Tiger here. I think this would be my fighter, and I really decided to play 3 more or less different strategies, and so this will be my fighter, so maybe he will try to take out the other players. This is something that we missed doing our very first playthroughs, I have to say, so I really want to focus on fighting here and really see if this does make any sense, because I also read on the Geek that the shields can be dramatically powerful, especially when going for tier 2 or tier 3 shield later on. So but I will try that nevertheless. The Easy Tiger also has a pretty cool ability, and this is the Tack Axe. Basically this lets me re-roll any 1 die of my own dice when spending 1 energy. So this is really a very cool thing. And last but not least, we have the Ghost Stalkers. Also a small ship, a relatively small ship. I decided to only go with an engine and a shield. So such as the Swarm Bread, we also have 1 bug left. And these are really metal coins. These are so damn cool. Basically the best coins I ever had in a game. So that's really a great job. But coming back to the Ghost Stalker here, the Ghost Stalker also has a very nice special ability, and this is a Disruptor Field. And the Disruptor Field lets you sneak through planetary shields, like here on one of our starting planets, Lunari here. So normally it's not that easy to go through or to pass through these shields. Sometimes you get some damage, sometimes you get a bounty, but sometimes you get through relatively easy. But with a Disruptor Field, this is definitely easier, or a lot of easier, than doing that without the disruptor field. So I think I will try to use the Ghost Stalker here for maybe some more yeah, smuggling jobs or something like that. So maybe let's do that. Let's focus on some of the missions for this guy. I also decided to use the non-player characters, so the Enforcer, the Scoundrel and the Merchants. Right now there are no conditions for them on the board that they will appear. So the Enforcer, for example, will show up as soon as Kempler 2 will be explored, or when we found it in the pile of these space tiles. The Scoundrel will show up when we discover Loath. And the Merchant will show up as soon as the second planet of his trade route here will show up. Right now we only have Lunari, but as soon as one of those other 4 planets will show up, we will place them on the second planet, and then he will start moving around and get richer and richer, and thus will be a target for either the Scoundrel or one of the players. Let's do one additional setup step, and this is already a house rule. Sometimes it's really way too easy because of this printed resource locations on those planets. So those guys will always sell the cyber. I think that's fine, we can stick with them. So Lunari will be known for producing these cyber resources. But the way what they basically buy, so this is the sell spot for the player, so the sell plot, they will buy that for you. They will always buy plasma from you. And this is really something I don't like, and there's also a lot of discussion on the Geek if the Merchant is definitely too powerful, especially when now in the neighborhood the next planet shows up that sells those plasma cubes, or maybe there's a resource directly beneath it. Then it's really relatively easy to for the Merchant to get richer and richer. And you also get a victory point each time you sell your complete hold in one round. So this is really something which we notice makes a big of a difference even in our playthroughs. We thought that, okay, well, the Merchant is definitely powerful. So one suggestion was, I think it was Sebastian on the Geek, said, okay, why not placing a random cube each time we would do a sell action here on Lunari and all of the other planets here, of course, and this would more or less reflect to the trading mechanism of Merchants and Marauders, which I really like a lot. Basically, the cities in Merchant and Marauders, they sell buy anything, but they have a special, you get some more cash if you sell something that's required here. But let's change it here completely. So I will draw one cube at random, and each time you're going to sell something there, you will place a new stone on that. So there is no fixed trade route for any of the players. So in this case, we have this orange cube, and the orange cube is Spice. No, that's not Arrakis, this is Saya. In Saya, Spice can only be found in rare asteroids and the Sea of Sand on Kempler 2. Galaxy-wide spice has a notorious history. While there are some deposits of spice in the drift system of Saya, it isn't by no means an abundant load, and certainly not enough for the larger powers of the galaxy to take notice. The spice must flow. I cannot quite remember where I've read this before, but it's a pretty cool reference. I like it a lot. Okay, in starting player order we will place now our ships, and this is also something I'm tending to change. So maybe we say in the future, in my normal multiplayer playthrough, maybe the guy who rolls the or wins the roll for being the starting player can choose the ship first, but then maybe the player last in line can choose his starting space first. I think this is really something that you should do, but for this doesn't really matter as I'm playing alone, so I will spawn the Swamp Rat here on or near Lunari on this spawning point here. As the Ghost Stalker has some shields, I think we will place it here close to the Burning Horse Nebula. And the Easy Tiger will go here, because when you enter a debris field, it really doesn't matter if you have a shield or not. On a roll of 1 to 3, you're going to die. And then we are already good to go. Let me explain you the core mechanics of this game. Most important right now is the movement. You can move by two means basically. For once you can use your impulse drive, but you can only use it once per round basically. If you want to use it, you just flip your impulse marker to the passive side here, and then you're allowed to move up to 3 spaces. That's printed here on the board. The second way how you can move is to use your engine. I decided to give all the players this M22 engine, and each of those engines have 3 of those activation spaces, so these orange spaces here. This is where you can place your armed markers here in order to leverage this system. There is a price on the system, and there's also a little die that's showing which die you are allowed to roll when activating this engine. The same applies for this Target shield here, so you can either place 1 or 2 of those activation spaces, and then you are allowed to roll 1 or 2 dice. And it's basically up to you how many dice you want to spend. But keep in mind, once those activation spaces are basically used, you're not allowed to use it in this turn. There's a special exception for that when you're being attacked, but you're doing a normal turn, this is basically the way it goes. And it's also the same for those blasters, or even for later some of those missile systems. So basically when you want to attack another player or another ship in this case, you can say, okay, I want to spend 2 of those armed markers here, and this would now let me roll 2d6, and then I would see how bad I would hit. The first thing that the Swarm Bird wants to do is to recover this exploration token. Under this exploration token you will either find 1,000 credits, a fame point, or nothing. Right now there's nothing bad to expect for them. Definitely a good option for upcoming either player-made content or an official expansion, but right now nothing bad can happen to you. The Swarm Bird could move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces directly, but then it has to cross through the planetary shield, and there is a good chance that he gets a bounty, but this is something that's not too good, at least not for a merchant player. If he wants to move through the normal planetary entrance here, so these dotted line here, then it would move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for movement. So I think it really doesn't matter or doesn't make sense to use the impulse drive, because the impulse drive of the Swarm Bird only allows her to move up to 3 spaces. So I think for the very first action we will use one of our armed markers and we'll place it on the M22 engine here at this point in time. So this would now allow her to roll a 6-sided die. And here the second house rule comes into play, as we found the movement very random. So even if there is a ship that has an afterburner, and also there we noted sometimes you just roll once, even if you have a d12 or something like that. So this was not really a very pleasant way to move through the system. So we also decided, or I decided, to use one of the optional house rules that are being discussed on the Geek here, and this just says roll for a tier 1 entry, roll 2d6 and choose the higher result. And I think this is really something that we will do at this point in time. So this is the first roll, that's a 6. Okay, I think we can stop it here. There is no way that we can exceed. This was a perfect roll for the Swarm Bird. So let's move for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces here on the exploration token. One quick note on those planetary entrances. As you can see, Lunari is a lawful planet. This means that innocent ships are allowed to move through the planetary entrance without any problems. It's not allowed for outlaw ships by any means. So if an outlaw ship wants to enter a lawful planet, he or she has to move through the planetary shield, and there is a way to get damage or getting another or a higher bounty on her. So I think this is something that could potentially be a good way for the Ghost Stalker, because of her disruptor field, to go for there. There are also outlaw planets which have basically the opposite of that. So if a lawful or an innocent ship moves through the entrance of an outlaw planet, then the ship would gain a bounty. So I think this is something, because they are being seen, hey, what are you doing with the scums and so on. So I think this is something that I will explain once the maybe Loath is showing up. There are also some neutral planets which don't have any of those restrictions. Let's have a look on those exploration tokens. The exploration token, or gathering an exploration token, is a so-called minor action. This means you don't have to stop your movement in order to collect these exploration tokens. There are some other minor actions like collecting jettisoned cargo or doing a blind jump into another sector, but for now I will stick to the exploration token here. So we will flip that, and here we can see that's 1,000 credits, which is not too bad, to be honest. So we will remove this exploration token and give the Swarm Bird another credit, or 1,000 credit here. Then I think we will use the engine one more time. So again, we roll our die twice. and that's a 6, so no need to roll this die again. So we will move 2 spaces. Here is a mission space, and the mission space can also be a minor action depending on what you're about to do. To gather a new or to get a new mission, this is definitely a minor action, so we can continue our movement once we have drawn our mission. So let's do that here for the Swamp Rat. And those are the 3 missions that he just drew. So the way this goes, you draw 3 missions and then you choose one. It's also only allowed to have 1 active missions at a time. If you want to get a new mission, you have to discard your mission before. This is basically also a minor action and can be done anytime, anywhere on the board when it's your turn. But you really have to decide beforehand, before you choose a new mission here. I think for this Swamp Rat merchant ship, these assassins are not really something that he should do at this point in time. So this would be the player on your left. In this case, this would be the Ghost Stalker. And this would be the merchant. The merchant is not on the board yet. So I think even though the Outpost 333 is not in play yet, I think we will take this card for now. Maybe it will show up as our very next card. And we have even the deliver point is already there, Lunari, and I think this is definitely a good thing. So we will take this card and place it next to the Swamp Rat. Normally you would keep those missions face down until you fulfill the first objective here, but for now this is not the case because Outpost 338 is not discovered yet, but I think for the sake of this playthrough we will keep it open. We still have 4 more movement points left. Remember, this was basically a minor free action, so we will move still 1, 2, 3, 4 further spaces at this point in time. Now we stop, and then we want to discover our next sector here, and there's also 2 ways to do that. For once we could do a blind jump, so from here I could just say I would jump into this space here, then I would discover the new tile, but then I would have to move on this space. And this can be really dangerous, as Saya the sun itself could show up and then this ship would be immediately destroyed, and this is definitely not a fun thing. So I will stop here and then I will take a proper scan action. The scan action costs me 1 energy, and then I draw the next card. And this is our first jump gate, the Expedio gate. This is definitely not a bad thing. So we have to place basically these icons have to match when I place new tiles. All the other are not really that important, so I have to put it like this. Right now I cannot use this jump gate because there is no other jump gate, and there's also a very cool thing. The first player who jumps through a gate is allowed to claim a fame point for that as well. Right now there's not much to do for the merchant, so I'm really thinking of moving to this salvage space up there in order to salvage some of the carbon resources. So I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movement, but I think together with the impulse drive it should be possible to get there. Yeah, let's do that. So I will place the next armed marker on my engine here, and right now this engine is now fully used, so in this turn I cannot use it anymore. So again I will roll this die twice. That's a 3, that's also a 3, so 3 it is. So this brings me 1, 2, 3 spaces up here, and the problem is I don't make it to the salvage point for now because I would need 4. So I'm really tempted to use my impulse drive in order maybe to explore a new sector. Yeah, let's do that. I will activate my impulse drive here, so this would let me move now 3 spaces. And as I don't want to give it directly to the Easy Tiger, I will place this one here. So this will be 1, 2, 3. Then I would take another scan action. This costs me another energy. I will do that off camera immediately. And then I would be allowed to draw a new tile. So I will explore this tile here. And this is the Smuggler Stand. So this is now a outlaw planet. It's basically built on an asteroid. And the good thing about those guys is they basically sell us anything. And this is a good thing for the trader. So the merchant can now move in here. It's dangerous to move through these asteroid fields here. but still I could now go for 2 of those spice here, for example, and then I could sell it back at Lunari, who are currently in demand for that. One thing that's still left to do, we have to place another of those exploration tokens, because this one showed up here. I still have 1 armed marker left, but the problem is I cannot move any further at this point in time because all of my engines are being used. So I think I will end my turn now. Theoretically we would come to the business phase, but the business phase only is being done when you are on a planet. Right now the Swampert is not on a planet, so we come directly to the status phase. There you could claim some titles and stuff like that, and we would have to rearm our systems. For now, these systems that have been used go to the disarmed marker here, but I could now spend 1 energy for each of those disarmed markers to move them up to the armed markers, and I think this is what I will definitely do. So I will go 1, 2, 3 spaces down on my energy track, and this would allow me to arm all of my systems for the next round, as I will definitely need my shields when moving through the asteroid field. I think the Easy Tiger will go for once for this exploration token, and then will go for a salvage ops here in the debris field. The problem is the debris field can immediately kill you on a roll of 1 to 3 on a d20. The chances are not that high to get destroyed, but as you know, it can happen. First of all, we definitely should try to gain this exploration token before any other player is about to take that from us. So I would need 1, 2, 3 spaces, and this would be the perfect match for our impulse drive here. And so we move 1, 2, 3 spaces into the debris field. Now we would have to roll our d20. And can you believe that? That's incredible. That never happened ever once to me in one of my playthroughs for this game. So this ship is now destroyed. It's his first turn, so it really doesn't matter. Normally you lose all your bounty, which is a good thing, of course. You would lose all of your mission cards, but right now there aren't any mission cards. You don't lose any engines whatsoever. You will just be spawned onto a new space. If you would have a tier 2 or a tier 3 ship, you would lose a turn. This is also not the case because we are all on a tier 1 ship here. So for him, he basically just loses this single turn. Wow, that's really a tough one. So we will put this back on his player board, and then we will spawn him at the start of the next round. Haha, after placing this guy on the board, I notice we can roll, or we can use the ability of the Easy Tiger. Immediately after rolling any die, spend 1 energy and re-roll. So I definitely will do that now. So I will spend this energy. I have to tap this ability, and then I will place him back on the board for now. So I think he was here trying to access that space. Of course, he still has to re-roll, so there is a slight chance that he gets destroyed again, but let's hope for that. Unbelievable. Okay. What's dead stays dead, so this guy is definitely dead. And all who said this game can be pretty random are now getting proved correct. So I think this game can really be a pain in your whatever. Yeah, but I think I still really enjoyed a great deal. Okay, so we can go over to the Ghost Stalker now, who is beside this Burning Horse Nebula, and I think, yeah, he definitely also wants to go to this exploration token down there. He would need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, that's 4 spaces, so it's not enough for his impulse drive. So I think we have to activate his M22 engine, and then we roll the d6 twice. That's a 4, which is good. That's a 5, even better, because this is a minor action, so I think we can definitely use the additional movement here. So let's move him down 1. Now we have to roll again because we entered this nebula, and this nebula can mean that you lose a hell of a lot of energy now. So again, we have to roll our die, and on the roll of 1 to 10 we would lose that amount of energy here, and on a roll of 11 to 20 everything is fine. But the good thing is we only have to roll this die when we enter this nebula. So as soon as we move, or as long as we're moving then into there is nothing bad going to happen. Okay, let's roll the die. That's a 17, that's perfect, nothing bad happened. So this was our first movement. We are of course allowed to continue with our movement. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have a look under this exploration token. Wow, and that's a fame point. Awesome. Normally we would do that in the status phase, and the rules are not very clear on that when you really apply those fame points. It's really tough. So we decided to say when you do this merchant action, for example, when you sell all you hold in one turn, then you would do that at the status phase, because this, we say it's only allowed once per turn, but all the other stuff can happen basically immediately. So let's move the green player to the Space Scum fame point. Awesome. We still have one more movement left, so we will move up there. And I guess then we have to use... No, I think we can use our impulse drive. So let's flip it to the passive side. This allows me to move up to 3 spaces, which we will do. And of course we will take a quick detour over this mission space here. So this will be 1, 2. We will have a minor action here to collect a mission. And these are the 3 missions. They are all outlaw missions, as you can see from the orange mission, and the smuggler is perfect for the ghost stalker. First of all, we would have to pick up contraband at Krella 4, and the good thing is Krella 4 is already discovered. So we have to pick up our contraband here, which is not too far away from our current position, which is perfect. And the second thing, we have to deliver this to Lunari, which is perfect. So I think this is also on the board, basically 1 sector array. Perfect. The problem is when the sectors are not too far from each other, you don't get that much money, but still 4,000 bucks is definitely a lot of money. So I will definitely take this mission and we'll discard those 2. The Ghost Stalker still had 1 movement point left from his impulse drive, so he will move to this harvest field, and there we will do a harvest action. The harvest can give you some of these holo resources. So let's have a look what holo is. Once refined, holo is a stable and useful substance. It was first named for its breakthrough use in holograms as hologram projection method, trademark, licensed by the Krell Corporation, of course. However, since using the full name requires paying royalties, most simply referred to as holo. Holo has a ridiculous amount of applications, not known since the depletion of fossil fuels. Holo can be found in everything from embedded electronics to starship hulls. Awesome. Harvesting is also pretty easy. You would roll your d20, and depending on the outcome of the roll, you get this or that. On the roll of 1 to 10, you lose that amount of energy, which is definitely a bad thing. And on a roll of 11 to 20, you found a holo cube. So let's do that here. The good thing here is we could use our shields in order to lower the amount of energy we might be losing, but let's roll the die first. That's an 8, so we would lose now 8 points of energy. And this is really a lot for a ship that only has 8 points of energy. So I think we definitely have to use our shield for now. And the shield would let me use 1d6. So I think I should do it twice. No, that's way too high. So I will activate my shield twice now, although this lets me now roll 2d6, and this I will subtract from the roll of 8. Okay, so let's roll the first one. That's a 4, that's good. And this is a 3. So we are allowed to subtract 7 from this roll of 8, which means I only lose 1 energy. And I think this brings me into a good position, and but should I really do that now? This is now a very critical point, because from here I could also make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces to the mission point here. So instead of losing an arm drive, maybe because I'm losing all my energy and then have to move back, I think this is really the safer bet. Yeah, I think let's do it that way. So rather than doing another, what's it called, harvest action here, I will activate my M22 engine one more time. So I will roll this die twice, taking the higher. This is a 6, perfect. This is really, oh, this is so awesome. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have to stop because I'm not collecting a mission, because I want to do or fulfill the objective of a mission. This is a full action, so I have to stop my movement. And I also don't have to roll for this energy loss for the nebula when leaving the nebula. So I'm completely fine here. And also don't want to risk this going also blasted into oblivion because this mission is so cool. This is definitely something I don't want to do, and I want to give it maybe to the Easy Tiger player and to keep him a chance. So I will stop here on this mission spot. Then I would calculate the amount of bonus or reward I would get, and this time this is defined by the distance between those two spaces, and this is clearly 1 to 2 sectors, as Lunari is down there, and the Krella Fort up here, so that's basically 1 sector. But still, I will place the reward on this mission card immediately. This is important, so you don't forget that. And we place this card now beside the Ghost Stalker, and we have to make a detection roll once we go to Lunari. I think I will rearm all of my tokens here, though this means I would lose 4 energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, which leaves me with 3 energy. If I ever land on 0 energy and don't have any armed tokens left, then I'm considered to be stranded, and then another player can be kind to me and also gain fame points in order to, yeah, more or less giving me some of his energy. And this was basically the first round of Saya. I think I will do one more round because the round for the Easy Tiger was pretty short. I will now limit my instructions and explanations to a minimum. Of course, if I see something new, then I will explain this to you. And right now I'm not really sure if I want to move the merchant through that planetary entrance or through the shield, because this would really give him 1 level of bounty, and then he would not be able to make it to the entrance of Lunari, and there's not really good, or there's basically no real way other than being destroyed to lose this bounty. So no, I think I won't do that. So I think what he will do, he will move here, maybe try to get this exploration token, and then do another scan action here, and maybe find a better planet on where to get the resources for Lunari. Yeah, let's do it that way. Maybe I should have explained that during the status phase you also are allowed to flip your impulse drive to active again. So I think in this case we will activate our impulse drive again, and so we will move 1, 2, 3 spaces here, or at least we will try to move there. So for once we have to roll now a die because we entered an asteroid field. The asteroid field works pretty much the same as the nebula, but you don't lose energy, you really get damage. So you also roll d20, and on a roll of 1 to 10 you get that amount of damage. So basically we are right now here, so let's roll our die and hope for an 11 to 20. Oh wow, he's so lucky. Okay, so no damage for the merchant. Then we flip this token. This is also a fame point for the merchant. Awesome. So blue is now also space scum. And then we move 1, 2 spaces further because of our impulse drive. And then I think we will take a scan action in order to get out another space here. So this brings us down to 2 energy. So this is getting bit tense for the blue player here, so I have to be careful. Let's reveal the new tile, and this is much better. This is Doravin 4. So we will place it here, and we also have a space problem here, so we're already getting into the player area of the Ghost Stalker here, so I will move everything to the left in a second. Okay, let's draw a cube for this cell space here. Oh, come on, this is really bad luck. This is another spice resource. Maybe this rule is too tough for the merchant now, but let's see. Maybe we still try to stick to that. So, but at least he has also a fame point, so he's not really behind. And of course, we have to place another exploration token here on this space. As we have discovered Doravin 4 now, the merchant will come into play because it's the second planet on the track here. So the second planet would be Doravin because the first one, Lunari, and the first one being Doravin. So we place the merchant on the cell space of Lunari, and maybe, yeah, why not? I think let's do it. So I think we will now draw a new cube for this stone, because it's a non-player character, but still he's doing something. And in this case we have the green resource. And green is terra, an all-encompassing term that means from the earth. Terra is used to refer to anything that comes from a terrestrial body, including alloys, crops, minerals, fossil fuels, what precious little remain, and all manner of produce. There isn't a planet in the world that can go without terra. It's not a glamorous work, but shifting terra pays the bills. The merchant will be activated after the turn of the Ghost Stalker. This is always the case. They are connected to one of those players, and when those players have taken their turns, then it's time to move or activate the non-player character. And this is now really perfect for the merchant, because here at the Ravin 4 they are going to sell you terra, and I think this is where he will definitely move to. Once again, we will activate our drive, and then we will roll first die. That's a 5, that's a 1. Guess what we are using here. And it's not quite enough to make it to this buy spot here of terra. So I'm really thinking of moving to this space here, because it would let me move back. Yeah, let's do that. This could be an easily gained fame point. So that's 1, 2, 3. We will reveal it. This is an X, so basically nothing. We still have 2 more movement left, so 1 and 2. And now we would still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6 in order to move to the Ravin. Okie dokie, let's activate our drive one more time. And again, we roll this twice. This is a 6. Come on, this is really perfect for these guys. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we end our movement here on this buy spot. On the Ravin 4, I think we have enough money. So for each 1,000 credits we get 2 terra cubes. So I think, yeah, let's do that. I think we will spend both of our credits. So these are our first 2 cargo cubes, these are our second 2 cargo cubes, and as you can see, those holes can either hold ship outfits or resources here, as you can see. But of course now it's also an easy prey for the easy tiger, who will come back after this one here. Maybe he spawns next to him, though there's a good chance that we see a fight in the next turn or so. Okay, for now I think he's fine. He could now still move, but he's really out of energy. So I think he will end his action phase, and he will take now the business phase. The business phase lets you do a lot of stuff. For once, you can rearrange your outfits, you can buy new outfits, you can buy a new ship, you can repair your ship, but the most important thing, at least for the Swamper for now, is to recharge the energy, and this is always a free action. And we could buy fame point for 5,000 credits, which he doesn't have. So I think the only thing that he will do during his business phase is to fill up his energy, and this also allows you to place these disarmed or activated tokens to your armed spaces also for free. Normally you do that in the stages phase, and you're still doing that in the action phase, but it really clearly says in rule this is a free of charge usage here. Now it's time to get back to the poor easy tiger here. So first of all we have to spawn him, so he starts again with full energy, and then we have to place him somewhere on the board. So we will roll the d20 and see to which spawning point he gets. That's a 6, yeah, that's a 6. So let's see, yeah, the 6 is down here at Lunari, so he will definitely spawn there, which is basically not a completely bad thing. I think that's really not a bad thing, because he could really try to intercept the Swamprat here. I think, yeah, that's a good thing. Let's do it that way, or let's try to do it that way. Yeah. But let's have him do some more exploration. So he will take a scan action by spending 1 energy, and he will scan for this sector here. So here, this sector, another debris field. He's not really lucky here, to be honest. So we will spawn a new point for him. And I really don't know, should he try that again? Okay, we cannot really lose anything here, so I think, yeah, let's do it. I think he will now activate his impulse drive, and then he will fly 1, 2 spaces here. Again, we would roll our die. Come on! Again a 3. Okay, that's ridiculous. Okay, we will activate our attack X ability, so this would let us re-roll. It's a 4, awfully close, but at least he's good now, so we can reveal this token. This is not really a fame point, but at least 1000 credits, which he thankfully takes, of course. And then he will, or has still one more movement. He's also allowed to move out of this debris field without any problem, so we will move here. I guess he does another scan action, and I think he will just place it here. So what do we have here? This is Neo Damascus, another green blend, which is perfect for the merchant player. For once, we can bring out a new exploration token. Well, this is a good way for this player. Maybe there is a fame point under it, and of course we have a sell spot here, so we will have to reveal a new one. Another spice. Okay, they're really evenly distributed now. Of course, now there are less green cubes in there because the Swampert has 4 of them, but still all the other cubes are there as well. But yeah, we cannot change it here. So I think, yeah, for the Easy Tiger, he will definitely use his engine outfit once in order to roll his movement die. That's a 1. That's a 6. Now that's way better. So let's use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I think, yeah, he has to do that again. So again, he will activate his M22 engine. Again, he can roll his die. That's a 2 and a 1. So he goes with a 2, 1, and 2. So he can reveal this one. Oh, this is another credit. Not really bad, but he was really hoping for a fame point here. But at least he's making some money here. And I guess he's using his engine one last time. Again, he will roll his die. That's a 3 and a 3. So we take the 3, I guess. And that's 1, 2, and 3. I think this is a very good position for him in order to try to go after the merchant here. Or maybe the non-player character who is now going from Lunari to Doravin here. So I think he can go into either way. But I think the merchantship only gives you 1 point right now and no real credit because he has not collected anything. So maybe we can leave him flying for some time in order to make him richer and richer. I guess he will arm all 3 used markers here, so this means 1, 2, 3 energy goes down, and there is no business phase, the status phase. We will untap this card here. We will also make the impulse drive active again, and then we can go over to the Ghost Stalker, who wants to go down to Lunari here in order to get some serious money now. I think this is really a very, very, very good turn for him. Well, it could be a very good turn for him. Okie dokie. I think we will activate our engine and then we roll our die. That's a 6. I think we leave it as it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I enter this space and the mission card says, Sneak, when you enter the destination planet, which we are trying to do, you must make a detection roll. And now the Ghost Stalker or the disruptor field doesn't help me anything, at least what I see. So I have to roll the d20 now, and on the roll of 13 to 20 we are lucky. Unfortunately I cannot do any rerolls here, so I really have to live with the risk. If I roll a 1 to 12, we are being detected and the mission would fail and we would gain 1 bounty, which is definitely not a good thing. Let's roll the die and really hope for a good result here. And this is a 4. Oh, this is really damned. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Now it's pretty unclear for me. Have I moved in? I think I have, so I think I will definitely end my movement here. But what happens now? This very, very valuable mission card will be discarded. The money as well, of course. So we will have to give this card away. So I get my first bounty here, which is not a very good thing because I cannot enter lawful planets anymore through the normal entrance, but that's okay because of my disruptive field. But I could be an easy target for the Enforcer, but right now the Enforcer is not shown up yet, so I think we should be good. But I was really hoping for this cash here. This is really a pity. I'm still here at Lunari and I think I will try to get a new mission here maybe. So let's activate our impulse drive and move 1, 2, 3 spaces, but I do a minor action here and draw a new mission. And those missions are all crap because none of those go fly to planets are already discovered here. This one is a little bit better because I have to deliver the passengers to Doravin 5, which is already on the board at least, and depending on where it shows up it could bring me some actual money. So I think I will take this shuttle mission here and we'll discard the other two. Let's do some movement and activate our engine again. We roll our die, that's a 6, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, so we'll end our movement there. Here we take a scan action and we'll draw another space tile. And cool, this is the Tigris Gate, and the Tigris Gate gains you another fame point if you are willing to use it, which we're definitely going to do because this is so much fun. I did it the last time and it really brought me to the complete other side of the galaxy where I wanted to end up, feeling like Voyager ending up somewhere in the Delta Quadrant. Perfect. And I really want to have this fame point, so I will activate my engine one more time. I would roll the movement die twice. That's a 5, that's a 1. So guess what? We take the 5. And then we would move 1, 2 spaces into the Tigris Gate. We are going to use it. And now we will check out, because this gate is malfunctioning. And then we will check out on which spawn point we will end up. So we will roll the d20 now. And this is spawn point number 3. 3 is not on the board, but we have 4 here, so we will jump directly to Doravin 4 spawn point, and this grants us 1 additional fame point, so we are already an asteroid worm. Isn't that nice? And I think we still have movement left, so we started here, 1, 2, then the jump is 3, and then 4 and 5. So we will try to sneak through the planetary shield, and this time we are going or trying to use our disruptor field. So I have to spend 2 energy, which is quite a lot, and basically all that we have, so we could easily end up nearly stranded, not really stranded, and then we would roll our d20, of course. So let's spend 1, 2 energy, and I'm doing this, oh, this has to be flipped, of course. So, and of course I'm trying to do that because I could fill up all my energy when I make it to the planet during the business phase. I think this is really quite an important step for the Ghost Stalker now. So we are looking at least for a 9 to 19 here, 9 to 19. And this is a 17, which is awesome. You may pass through a planetary shield border 1 time this turn with no consequences. Perfect. I think technically I should have done that because it says play as an action. I should have done that before I move, but hopefully for you guys it's okay when I do that now. So I have moved through this planetary shield. I will end my thing here. Next time I really try to think of it beforehand before I would move through this Tigris Gate here. So I should really have done that in the right order. Now I can do my business phase on Doravin 4. Good thing is I have a bounty, so I wouldn't be allowed to do it to the planetary entrance anyhow. So I can rearm all of my systems for free. I would put this active and then I would gain 8 energy. I would now move through the status phase, but I think there is nothing to do. I can enable the disruptor field again, so this is also active for the next round, and that's basically it for the Ghost Stalker. But as he is controlling the merchant will now move 8 spaces towards the stealth space on the next planet on the trade route. Right now he's here on Lunari, so he will move to Doravin 4 at this point in time, and he will move up to 8 spaces. Normally he wouldn't move through asteroid fields or any other dangerous areas, but as there is no other clear path to Doravin 4, he's doing that anyhow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So for this turn he's safe anyhow, but during the next turn either one of those guys will explore this space, then he will reconsider, and if not he will also take the risk and fly through this asteroid field, which could be a very good thing for this pirate player here. I think I will end my playthrough for today. So I showed you full 2 turns in this game. We already seen a death of a player. Wasn't really a big deal because he would spawn immediately. Normally you can lose a turn if you have a higher tiered ship, but for now everyone is doing fine. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. I really think this is a great game. It needs a little bit of some of those house rules from time to time. I'm not so sure about those house rules for the merchant player, but not right now he's really having a hard time because not the right resources are showing up. But at least he's trying to prepare to move down here to Lunari. So I'm really curious about your comments or what you think if I should pursue with these house rules. I think the movement rule is perfect. I definitely will stick to that for all of my future playthroughs for now, even when I'm playing this with normal real life persons. So this is really a good thing. I'm pretty sure about that because there's already enough luck based possibilities in this game. Hope to see you soon in one of my next videos, maybe the next episode of my playthrough of Flyer. And until then, bye bye.